Alright, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Only Divergences. You know what we're about here. I take a strict technical analysis approach to looking at stocks, so no news, no narrative, no earnings crap, just the charts. Before we start, a special thank you to everybody who likes my videos and all the new subscribers. Hold me accountable, keep me honest in my analysis as we navigate these markets together. Okay, so in this pre-market video, I'm taking a look at Palantir, ticker symbol PLTR on the New York Stock Exchange. A lot of stocks that I look at, I track with playlists, right? So if you go to the playlist, you'll see certain stocks, and I'm just keeping track of them. And when I think they need to be updated, or if there's potential divergence, or if it's hot, then that's going to be a reason for me to update them. Or maybe if just time passes. So today we are introducing Palantir, which I have not made a video about before, but it's getting hot on Wall Street bets, and of course it will. Take a look. The stock has just made a new recent high last week, right here. The last time price was this high was late February. So more than half a year. Remember markets back then with GameStop and AMC and all that jazz? Yeah. What a time. Anyways, before we dive into the technicals, I want to say that Palantir was really popular. A lot of people made a lot of money right after the IPO, either through shares or options or both. And it became popular. So of course, if it looks like it's breaking out, as some other technical analysts might call it, it will get the attention and bring back the memories that the Reddit apes have about, limitless upside potential, right? And all those crazy gains that people made last fall, and also into the new year. Before we move on, though, if you're listening, I want you to listen carefully. I have to stop you right there. You can fantasize about limitless potential of one stock, or you can be realistic and be a responsible investor and make consistent gains over time that compound. Okay? I'm not talking about just beating the market. I'm talking about a lot more than that. So stick around and I'm going to show it to you in real time. So if I haven't said it enough already, subscribe. It actually matters a lot for YouTube and for me. Okay, so anyways, we will start with the technicals as always on the weekly to provide some context. Okay, so, stock IPO'd here. We had a nice big move higher, but look at this MACD. This is not sustainable. This is already reaching its limits on the weekly. And so that's what happened. It came lower here after the big move, and we've been basically consolidating, right, in this $30 to $20 range for most of the year. We could make a weak argument that we have some divergence right here. We see there's kind of a low here and then a second low, which is a little higher, but that's a weak argument for me. It's not optimal. And more to the point, right now, you can see that we've already moved higher, right? So you can argue that this setup has already played itself out, and now we've got positive histogram on the weekly MACD, which could then curl down lower. Other than that, we really can't tell much about the stock on the weekly. There's nothing clear jumping out at us, so we move down to the daily time frame. Okay, now I know what I'm about to say will get me downvoted by all the Reddit Palantir apes and everybody who thinks this is going to the moon, but objectively, the current daily pattern of this chart does not look constructive. Okay, what I mean by that is that if you had capital right now and wanted to deploy it in a stock that had optimal, immediate material upside, Palantir would not be it. And this is not an opinion, okay? This is actually true on its face. And let me just explain to you why that is right now. Let's just ask ourselves some simple questions. The first is Palantir closer to the potential start of a rally or the potential end of a rally? Well, we cannot say that it is at the start of a rally because we're in the middle of a rally. Okay, depending on how you measure it, this rally started, all the way back here on July 19th, right? And the stock was down at, under 21 bucks. And then it came here and it's been, slowly but surely rallying ever since. Now, you can say that the rally actually started down here when it was at 17 bucks, but it really doesn't matter because the point that I want to make is that we are already 20% into this rally from the lows. Okay, we have 20% less meat on the bone. That's an expression you're going to hear me say a lot. So while it is being said in hindsight, we can say that at this very moment, if you go long, you are at a less optimal position than someone who went long here in July. In fact, all of July here. If you're going long here, you're at a less optimal position than everybody who bought before here. Does that make sense? I hope that this makes sense, like just on its face, like it's just obvious that what I'm saying makes sense. If it makes sense, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, so at this point you have people who bought down here, right? Who may be looking for an exit. 20% is a good gain in 2-3 months, right? Well, it's okay, but it's good enough, all things considered, right? Now I have to be clear. I'm not saying there is a 0% possibility or probability that Palantir goes higher. We know that's not the case. But as I've said many times before, I'm sitting in cash and I'm looking for optimal, objective, long entry only, okay? I'm not looking for a 5% chance that Palantir goes to the moon in the next 2 months or whatever. I'm looking for what's going to happen right now. I mean, not only is Palantir a little long in the tooth in this rally, but it actually peaked above 29 recently on Friday, I think. So it's already 20%, it's already 10% down from its recent high. Does this seem like a dip? Or has the market lost faith in this rally? For me, the way that I interpret this is that if you have to ask yourself that question, then you're probably not looking at something that is what we would describe as optimal for entry right now, right? So that's just a layman's look at the stock and its current rally, and the idea that you want to look at this rally and say, are we closer to the beginning of a bigger breakout, or are we closer to the end? But we have to be disciplined in our analysis. So let's take a look at the technical indicators that I employ regularly for my analysis versus MACD. Okay, first thing we have to ask ourselves on the daily, do we have a bullish divergence? No, period. In fact, an argument can be made that we have a slight bearish divergence here. Right? Let me just pull up a quick drawing tool here. You can see we had a high here. Oh, can I draw here? Oh, I can't draw. I can only draw here. Okay. So let's say I was able to draw on the MACD. You can see we have a high here, pulled back, and then you have a second high here. So that would be somewhat divergent. The reason why is because price is higher, but momentum is at slightly equal. It's just equal, slightly higher, but we would say equal. Now above that, we can also make the argument that, it's not the strongest argument, but we can make the argument that we have what I call nested divergence, with a potential negative divergence that goes all the way back. So not only do we have this small negative divergence, but we can say that here we have a move higher, and here we have a move higher, and we can see the momentum is not picking up. It's not particularly divergent, except for the fact that you have momentum basically at a similar high, but you have price at a slightly higher high. So that isn't, the craziest of bearish setups, but it's not the craziest of optimal bullish setups, right? And remember, that's all we're looking for. Having gone through this daily analysis, I don't really think there's a need to go deeper into the hourly. Well, there's the extended hours, but you can see here, we've been above this 200 period moving average on the hourly for over a month, right? And you can see that the stock generally trades above it and below. This is a really simple technical analysis. Trades above it and then trades below it, then trades above it. Let's go back even further. Trades below it. It was below it for quite a long time here, right? But that was because it traded above it for such a long time. So you can see that we have periods where it's above for a long time, comes back above, and it was pretty far above if you think about it. How many standard deviations the price was from that moving average. So you have a long period above, long period below, smaller period above, smaller period below. A bit longer here. But I would argue that you would want to be looking to go long in areas where you're below, right? You would want it to have been below for some time, and then you go long, and then you can do this. If you're going long up here, you're adopting the risk that something like this happens. And that's why I say only look for the optimal moves. Okay? So I know that this analysis is a little different from most other technicians. I cannot give you a price target. I'm not going to start talking about fundamentals or narratives. But the question that I want to ask and answer is whether at this exact moment, meaning at the open of markets on Tuesday, September 21st, the current pattern for Palantir is one that is materially constructive, meaning it will result in an immediate big move higher. And I cannot answer that in the affirmative. I am looking for optimal entry, preferably bullish divergence, to go long. And I just don't see that right now. So that is my current view on Palantir. Probably not very popular, but I aim to be objective, not popular. So thanks for watching until the end. Like this video and subscribe if you want to see more of my analysis. And I'm telling you, very soon we will see potential for what I describe as optimal entry. And we will test my hypothesis in real time, so you don't want to miss that. I'll likely put out a video later today. I want to visit Roku, so take a look at that Roku video. I'm just going to put it here so you can click on it. So that will likely be my analysis. But for now, again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later today.